Now, we just got something about Pokemon that I think could heavily relate to Pokemon Winds and Waves, and actually this game could probably benefit from this, and I think every single future Pokemon game will be benefiting from this, and I think it could benefit in every single way, such as making the games bigger and better, the Pokemon designs, the size of the Pokedex, how the Pokemon interact with the surrounding environments, and just the future Switch 2 Pokemon games in general. Of course, we're gonna get many Pokemon games over the years. We definitely have a lot of leaks and rumors as to some of the future Pokemon games. Of course, Gen 10, Winds and Waves coming out next. Then after that should be a brand new Legends game. And after that, I do believe that the Pokemon MMO, the official Pokemon MMO, is planned to release. Generation 11 potentially is after that. What's crazy is that'll be the plan for many years. Now, this is a very interesting topic for today. I need to know your opinion on this, so please stick around to the end. Right before we do hop into it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications, how much our goal of 45k. Let's get right into it. So, Nintendo has gotten a patent rejected in Japan due to the mechanic they were trying to patent being used already in a Pokemon fan game from 2013. While this may seem like a great outcome, this may lead to them starting a major crackdown on Pokemon fan games so this doesn't happen again. Okay, so immediately, if they crack down on Pokemon fan games, that's bad news. Everybody loves fan games because it's just fun, and it's not taking away anything from the official Pokemon games. It's just something to play in the meantime, right? I'm wondering what mechanic that was. I wonder if it's along the lines of, battle or evolution gimmick, such as Mega Evolution or Z-Move, Strategization, whatever the heck it could have been, because that's in 2013. And we also know that Nintendo historically protects their IP. Like, they do not mess around when it comes to that stuff. So people are thinking that because of this, they could seek out these fan games more frequently to get them removed so that they could use more ideas in the future. Of course, that is a speculation right there. There's no real evidence that Nintendo has announced to crack anything down with these fan games and stuff. They could totally let this patent rejection go and continue to let fan games go on in the future. But guys, here is the huge caveat as to why I think it's good news that Pokemon games, or I should say Pokemon fan games, are giving them a run for their money, or making Nintendo a little bit scared. I would say we are in a point where Pokemon has major competition. And now I'm gonna bring up Palworld because that's exactly where my thoughts are with this, because Palworld recently dropped Palworld 1.0 and it is huge. Millions and millions of people are loving it and playing it. Let me know, have you guys been playing Palworld? But this is a real competitor. Of course, Pokemon has had competitors over the last many years. Palworld debatably might be the biggest one yet. And of course, there was a ton of drama with Palworld and Pokemon. I'm not going to get into that specifically today. Like I said, there's a lot of other monster catching games out there. Like Temtem, Monster Hunter Stories, along those kind of lines. Now, the big thing with this is Palworld's giving Pokemon a real run for their money, and this is where competition comes into play. Competition creates better games. Competition is a great thing. That's what we want, and honestly, I think it's safe to say that is what Pokemon needs as well, because it's going to basically force Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and Game Freak to invest more money, continue to innovate, improve the graphics, improve the performance, and add many more features. We definitely have seen Pokemon put more emphasis on the technology, and I guess kind of locking in more with Winds and Waves, because from the leaks, it seems like the game is going to be very ambitious. They have definitely scrapped a lot, and they definitely added a lot. Winds and Waves should be the biggest Pokemon games of all time. The Pokedex size is rumored to be about 300 plus, which I'm going to be dropping another Pokedex video soon, because we have just more rumors, and I guess you could say theories about the Pokedex, so I definitely want to make a video about that very shortly here. I think that Nintendo, Pokemon, Game Freak, whatever, they should compete through the quality of their games and not lawsuits, because if patents become harder to obtain because ideas out there just already exist and stuff like that, genuinely the best thing that they could do is just make insane games. Like, pour all of that motivation and energy that you would be taking people to court or with these patents and stuff, and just make the games insane. Game Freak are probably responding to this internally. They are probably having meeting upon meeting about this, talking about the expectations from the fans, the competitors, what they need to do to kind of, push themselves forward a little bit with the games. Also, though, on top of that, Pokemon is huge. It's the biggest media franchise of all time. So if they dropped the worst game for Winds and Waves, they're really not going to go anywhere. Genuinely, it would be unfortunate, for us, the fans that would want an insane game. But if it's one of the worst Pokemon games of all time, it's not going to really affect them all that much. But I'm not saying that it is going to be. I genuinely have faith in Winds and Waves. I really do think it's going to be a very fun Pokemon game that will push the boundaries with certain things. It's the first generation built specifically for the Switch 2. We're seeing so many third-party, like, big games being brought over to the Switch 2, which is good because those games weren't able to be on the Switch, which is good for Nintendo first-party games such as, Pokemon, where they could hopefully make it a bigger game, which they definitely are. The leaks and the rumors are saying, like, this is literally going to be a huge map. And that's what things are all about. Innovation is all over the place, and inspiration is also extremely important, because without inspiration, we would not have nearly as much as we do in the modern day. Think about how many games have been inspired by a different game or a movie. Guys, I know I low-key sound a little bit lame right now, but I promise, just hear me out. Palworld definitely took inspiration from Pokemon. There's no doubt about that, but look what they have done with it. They have turned it into something different that definitely stands out and is not just a one-to-one Pokemon clone, right? Think about Terraria. That game was definitely inspired by Minecraft. Halo was inspired by Doom, and Halo, of course, one of the biggest games of all time. I'm just doing a quick Google search. I believe Final Fantasy XIV was inspired by World of Warcraft. So it just goes to show how, these big ginormous games were inspired by other games and made it their own thing, put their own twist to it to create something more and create something new. So I think Nintendo and Pokemon need to do the exact same thing with some of their competitors to push themselves forward and to get their own ideas. I'm definitely not saying just to copy and paste it, by the way, because I know somebody out there thinks that's what I'm saying. I just mean inspiration, basically. So that is one thing with Nintendo, though. They definitely know how to innovate and come up with unique ideas. It is a little bit different with Pokemon because it's not just Nintendo that owns it. It's split into a couple of different companies, but still, they do know how to be innovative. They do know how to come up with really unique ideas. And on top of that, it is Pokemon. It has a connection with people that most games don't. Just look how the world is reacting with Pokemon right now, like TCG, just literally everything. Everything with Pokemon is booming still, and it's probably not even gonna slow down anytime soon. So, like I said, they could really drop a bare bones game, and if it has some of that Nintendo charm or Pokemon charm, people will still really like it. It's just a very interesting phenomenon right now, like how big Pokemon really is. And I am saying that still with the, I guess you could say, hope that this game is gonna be really pushing some more boundaries and really trying something different, even though the trailer, some of the stuff doesn't look that off. But the thing is, that is the first trailer, and that trailer from the time the game comes out, that's a long time, right? We still have over a year before this game drops. Of course, every single day we are getting closer and closer, and that next trailer should be here soon. I mean, bro, I don't know, the leaks are saying probably Pokemon Day of 2027, so soon, more than 6 months or so. I don't know, man. Maybe they could be dropping a trailer tomorrow. I just think that they are trying to make this good. I think they definitely have heard of people have been saying about the franchise and just the games recently, so I just had to rant about this because I mentioned this in one of my previous videos for like 30 or 40 seconds, and I really just wanted to make a whole video dedicated to why competition is actually good for Nintendo and for Pokemon specifically, mainly because of the fact that, Pokemon games have had so much controversy over the last couple of years. So I also want to end this video off by saying I'm very excited for the future of Pokemon. I'm not saying I hate on Pokemon. I don't hate on Palworld. I want to know your thoughts and your opinions. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, because I feel like I've been kind of straying away from these rant videos recently. I used to do these type of videos all the time, so it low-key kind of feels good to do it again. Anyway, if you were watching this far in the video, comment down below, Polar Bear. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss all Pokemon news, leaks, and updates. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Someone